Talk about technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
No, Marv, I don't even. I don't. I see the screen, but I see a plus sign. I don't see you. I see you live, but I don't see you. There's
Alright.
nothing up there but a plus sign.
Check again. I relaunched again. Check again. Check again. Check again. Check again.
Oh, okay, okay.
Alright, here we go. Okay.
Okay, now I hear you.
Alright, I sound okay?
Yes, you sound okay.
Alright, this is crazy, man. Listen, I apologize for the craziness. I ain't been on in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And the last time I tried to get on, you know, I had problems as well. So it's an ongoing saga, man. I usually have my system set up running through my desktop, streaming on OBS, but for some reason kept on freezing. So I had to just scrap it and go live from the phone. Go live from only problem with going live from the phone is I got to hold the phone up. See, I got phone is gonna be moving, so y'all gotta forgive me for the phone keep moving. But what's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Today is what, the 14th? Yeah, the 14th, and I ain't went live in about 3 months. I checked the last video that I did, then it was 3 months since I went live. So how y'all doing out there? You know what I'm saying? It's been a little minute. It's been a little minute. So I just want to say, it's a blessing to be here to connect with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a blessing. Um, Seeing as though is what I'm going through is what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, let me establish this channel is to help anybody dealing with or going through cancer or anything that, what I'm saying, there's some kind of difficulties dealing with. Cancer just does not affect the person that's actually diagnosed. Cancer affects family, friends as well. So this channel is meant to help, people deal with, the stress of having to go through this diagnosis and this situation. So the first thing I want to talk about is originally this 7 o'clock live was because when I was first diagnosed in 2021, um, there was, you know, there was a limitation of how long you could stay there. 7 o'clock was the cutoff time for visitors, but that was during COVID. So now that COVID is over, um, there's no limit on visiting hours, and you can have up to I think 2 or 3 guests, and you can even have guests stay overnight. So that's a good change to the system. Obviously, there's no COVID, so you don't gotta be so you don't gotta have so many restrictions. So yes, you can stay overnight with your family because my wife was there with me from the beginning to the end, and without her support, I don't know if I would be here right now. I'll be honest with you. So yeah, that was the first beginning of this podcast was centered around 7 p.m. because at that time 7 p.m. was the time that your family left you and you was left by yourself, and at that time was my time to lock in on what I gotta do and when I gotta do it, and kind of not be so consumed, not be so consumed with yo Johnny, what's going on? Not being so consumed with the outside world and just focusing on rehabbing and getting myself better. And that helped me a lot this go around. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So um I just like I said, man, I'm just glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it, right? The last video I made, I was in the hospital. right? Me and my wife, and I couldn't do much talking, right, because of what the chemo did to I had mouth sores, I had throat sores, I had sores everywhere in my stomach, right? So talking was an issue. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking way, I can eat now. Before I wasn't able to eat. Before the only thing I could do was drink Nutriment. I mean not Nutriment, but Ensures. And not even that. Not even Ensures. I need because the Ensures was the only thing that could go past my throat that I could actually, drink. But once it hit the stomach, it was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Goofy? Goofy, what's going on, Goofy? You know what I'm saying? So now that I can speak, I'm speaking. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there was a lot of issues when you in the hospital. You can't, do what you want. You gotta be on the doctor's time. You gotta be on the nurse's time. You gotta be on everybody else's time. So it was difficult trying to get a live going 7 o'clock, 3 days, 3 different days of the week. So we had to put a pause on the live. And to be honest with you, I had my life to worry about because it's a lot of things that I couldn't control, and it's a lot of things that I was going through physically because of the chemo that limited me from even speaking. My brain wasn't functioning properly. You understand? I had a lot of issues that I was dealing with that couldn't allow me to even hold a conversation. You know what I'm saying? For more than maybe a couple seconds. And one of the most important things that I was able to learn is when you in the hospital, man, if you there as a patient, if you don't need to be talking, you know what I'm saying, don't talk. Because me not I speaking to people and explaining situations took a lot. It takes a lot out of you. And when you're being on these painkillers, on these different drugs, you know what I'm saying? You gotta deal with the nurses, you gotta deal with the blood drawings, you gotta deal with all of these issues. There's no time for you to sleep. So you can't waste no time talking to nobody, telling nobody no long drawn out story about anything. And after, after the chemo really took effect, right? After the chemo really took effect, I didn't have the strength to speak to nobody. You know what I'm saying? The best thing I could do was save my strength and heal myself. So that's what I did. I saved my strength and healed myself. I stopped speaking as much, and a good thing my wife was there because she was able to speak for me. Right? That was one of the most important things is that my wife was there to speak for me, and that's what she did, and I appreciate her for that. She was able to you know, speak on my best in my behalf and to the doctors, to the nurses, family and friends, because I was out of it. I was out of it. This chemotherapy that I did, man, it tore me down. It tore me down and built me a new one. I'm telling you, I'm just able to really hold a conversation because I've been home for 3 weeks, going on a month. I've been at the hospital. I came out the hospital in the second week of March. I went in, I think the third week of December, towards the end of December, and I was in the hospital for about 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And craziest thing is when I went in there and I got the treatment, they was trying to they was trying to let me know, all right, we got you treated, we got you chemo. Now it's time for you to go. And I'm like, yo, I know my system. This is the worst time for me to to be out the hospital because my system is about to go and hit zero. You feel what I'm saying? I'm about to hit zero, and I'm not gonna have no kind of defense mechanism. And I know myself and I know my body, so I was able to inform these doctors. Can you understand what I'm saying? The doctors didn't know how to handle my situation. You know what I'm saying? I had to speak for myself. In the beginning, I was able to. You understand? And like I said, this cancer this time it tore me down, man. It really, really tore me down, and you know being able to have somebody to speak for you is like one of the most important things. So I thank my wife, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep thanking her because if she wasn't for her being there every day, hey man, and like I said, man, I don't know if I would have been, I would have still be able to, you know what I'm saying, be as functional as I am a month after being home. I'm just able to, like I said, hold a decent conversation. My thoughts were like not there. You know, at one point I had to let my wife know that, you know, I'm not me at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I was withdrawn. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't speaking to her much. It was very difficult to deal with. So before she wondering like, yo, what's wrong with my husband? Like, what's going on or whatever? I had to let her know like, if you don't ask me a question, you're not gonna hear nothing from me because my brain is not functioning properly at the moment. Like I couldn't think freely. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't come up with a thought. Only thing I could do was just pay attention to what was in front of me. Like I didn't care what was on the TV. The TV could have been shut on, off. It could have just been on a picture. Like I had no desire to really do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even have no desire to speak. So you know what I'm saying? Before she thought like, yo, something's really wrong with this dude, I had to let her know like, yo, if you don't ask me a question at the moment, I'm not gonna really say anything to you because my brain is not functioning properly. So that's one of the issues that's one of the this the serious issues that I had to deal with coming home from being out the hospital was the communication part of it. And you know what I'm saying, sometimes you know what I'm saying, it's self confidence because at one point I wasn't going to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought at one point that would look like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? Like, if you don't ask him a question, he ain't even gonna speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not easy sometimes to let people know your weakness, even if it is your significant other, right? So, I had to deal with that and get past that. And once I, you know what I'm saying, once I let her know that she actually spoke to me according to, you know what I'm saying, how I was. Hey, what's going on, cuz? How you doing, cousin? Good to see you. It was a little difficult, you know what I'm saying? So by me saying that to her, she spoke to me, and carried on conversations and asked me, am I okay? She spoke to me more in a question form, more than expect me just to speak, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it was hard to just come up with thoughts. It was hard to carry in a conversation. I was sitting in a room by myself for an hour, 2 hours, just looking at a picture and not caring what was going on around me because I was just in my head and I had no thought process. Because you know what I'm saying, the chemo really works on your whole body, mind, body, and soul. The chemo tears you down, and I'm still rehabbing at home. And that's one of the things I had to like I didn't understand until now. Like even though you're out the hospital, it's not over. It's not over. That's for anybody that's going through cancer. That's for anybody's family or friends. Just because you're out the hospital, that doesn't mean that you're okay. That doesn't mean that um, you're back to normal. I had to literally. I'm still rehabbing right now. I'm still trying to get my mind right. I'm still trying to get my body right. Like that desire to get out the bed, you know what I'm saying, was also an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just so out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm never feeling sorry for myself, but my desire, my want was not there. I wasn't wanting for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So having somebody, having a good support system that's gonna like ride with you and like, you know what I'm saying, and, follow you through the ups and downs is very important. So, this goes out to everybody. Like I said, no matter if you are going through it, once you get home, that does not mean that um once you get home, that does not mean treatment is over. That does not mean you're fixed or you're good again just because you're at the hospital. What you say, cuz? When you wake up in the morning, what was running in your head? Nothing. Was it just blank? Because our brain never stops thinking. It was when I woke up in the morning. I didn't. It was just blank. Literally, it was just blank, and I couldn't. I had no desire. I couldn't think of anything because imagine me a baby that's just been born, that's learning how to walk. You know what I'm saying? Learning new things. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. I had no desire. It's almost like I didn't know anything to want anything. You understand what I'm saying? It was just blank. And the only way I could respond, or the only time that I would conversate with my wife was when she asked me a question. Like voluntarily just starting a conversation, that was not happening. For the first 2 weeks, the first week or two, I came home, me and my wife didn't speak that much. And it kinda got me nervous to the point where like, damn, I don't want her to think like something is wrong with me. Like I'm gonna have to get a new husband because this one's broken. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't want her to think like, is this how he's gonna be from now on? He's just not gonna speak. Cause she would ask me like, yo, you okay? Like you're not saying nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, she's noticing that something's wrong with me, and I knew something was wrong with me because you know what I'm saying. I'm going through it, and I had to share with her like, yo, if you don't hear me speak to you that much, it's because there's nothing going on right now. If you don't ask me a question, I'm not gonna say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Thank God that as time goes by, your body is able to heal itself. And that's one of the things I always talk about is the strength that is inside of you and your ability to come back from whatever adversity that you might experience in your life or you know what I'm saying through you know what I'm saying chemo, especially through chemo or going through a diagnosis. I was able to come back. This is the second time that I'm dealing with cancer in what 4 or 5 years. Diagnosed in 2001, went into remission for like a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So it took a toll on me. Like I said, rehab is not complete just because you go home. You still have to rehab, and you still have to, you still fixing yourself even though you're at home. Do you know why they let you out the hospital? So you don't get sicker. You know what I'm saying? If you my immune system, and it took a while for my immune system to respond because y'all know I got that issue, and I thank my cousin June for always praying for me, always talking about my immune system. I love you for that, cause my immune system, you know what I'm saying, it took a real beating this time around. So you know, since my last video back in January, it's been 3 months now. Since January, it's been 3 months that I have been getting platelets and getting blood because I need it. And here I am. I just came from I'll show you my bandage. You know what I'm saying? I was wrapped up earlier. I just came from the cancer center because I had to get platelets. And I didn't need no blood today, but I go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and pretty much every day I go, I have to get a bag of platelets because my platelets, they're used up. Remember, platelets is what heals your wounds. You know what I'm saying? And every time I go to the cancer center, the average person is supposed to have about 150 to 300,000 platelets in their body. And sometimes when I go to the cancer center, I might have 8,000, 10,000. You know what I'm saying? I get a bag of platelets. I'm tapped up. You know what I'm saying? It probably bring me up to about 20, 30,000. But in 2 days, it's depleted again, and I got to get another bag. So 3 times a week, I get platelets. And I didn't get into and this week was like the first week that I went 2 or 3 visits without having to receive any blood. But more than likely, when I go back Wednesday, I'm gonna have to get topped off with some blood because my counts is getting lower.
You never talk about the things you will visit in the hospital?
Huh?
You never talk about the rest of your visit in the hospital?
hmm
Huh?
But So what you say, cuz? I'm so happy you are doing better. You are a true soldier. Hey, cuz, I'm just. This is how God made me, man. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, whatever anybody says to me, how strong I am, or how I do this, or how can I, like, this is how God made me. So I'm just gonna show up every day and try to, and try to be him that he made, and just keep going, cause I'm a survivor from birth, coming from where I'm coming from, and what I'm saying, what my life's been like. I'm a survivor, so I just do what I know. Just do what I know. I know how to survive and overcome obstacles, and this is what I look at this as, is another obstacle in my life, and that's how I'm approaching it. Obstacles are able to be overcome and get defeated. So this is how I look at this, as another obstacle that's on the verge of being defeated. So what I'm saying. The vibe is always up, and one thing, once the pain is gone, then there's nothing else to worry about. Once you're not feeling any pain anymore, then what is there to be worried about? And the pain don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? The pain don't last forever. So once once um once the pain stopped, or what I'm saying, reduced, I still have issues. Obviously, I still have bone pain, stomach pain. I still have minor pain that is not as severe as what was in the hospital. But once that harsh pain is over, then it's like, all right, let's do it again. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it takes, and that might be what's necessary. I might have to go through another chemo treatment based on what the result from my bone marrow biopsy is. I get that back Wednesday. I did a PET scan, which I tell y'all is a scan of the body to see if there any cancer in the body. I did a PET scan, and no PET scan. There was only little spots in my bone marrow, so I did a bone marrow biopsy, and that takes a while. So hopefully Wednesday I get the result of that. And if that bone marrow biopsy is clean and has no signs of cancer, then we move on to the next stage, which is the bone marrow transplant. But if there is cancer in my bone marrow, then I'm gonna have to undergo another, not as severe, touch of chemo, just to make sure everything is clear before I could do the bone marrow biopsy. So you know, just keep praying for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be alright, because I got a good support system. You will?
I'm just listening.
Yeah, I got a good support system. So like I said, just keep praying, and we're gonna be alright. So I just wanna shout out my mother. Today's the 14th. Her birthday is on the 12th. And this time, when I was first diagnosed in 2001, it was speak what I want into existence. Okay. Oh, cousin said, "What's up, wifey?" I think she might have heard you in the background.
Oh, it's not that.
Yeah, she said hi.
Now you started
Yeah.
talking about you got sick in the hospital and certain things you get yapped out of. I
Hey,
know you just started before
hey,
you
I'm
came
just,
on.
I'm trying to get it in. I'm gonna let you help me fill in the gaps, okay? It's cause you are, you know, our brains are wired differently. So the things that I want to say might not be the things that you feel that.
No, I'm just saying if you're gonna talk about what happened, you gotta talk about the gap in the hospital.
That's what I'm
Why you
saying. I don't
stopped?
I don't remember the gap. I don't.
I
The
know.
gap is where you gotta fill in that. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the gap. Like I told you, there was a point in the time when I was in. That's right. Like I kind of I'm jumping around. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm just throwing it out there. I'm jumping around. When I was in the hospital, I was down. Like the chemo kicked my butt, man. I was literally
Like about a week or two, you wasn't
like
you
almost
gave up.
almost 2 weeks. I was, you could say, non-responsive in the format of, like,
Just sleep.
I wasn't unconscious,
You just sleep.
but I was just sleep 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. all I could do was sleep
Until me and mom took
and
your
take
medicine.
medication.
Yeah, we took your
You know what I'm saying?
medication.
And it's a good thing my mother and my wife, my mother is nurse practitioner, so she, she's in tune. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, she's very intelligent herself. They stopped some of the medication that I was being given, and that helped me
Wake up.
come up out of my slump. That helped me wake up because for 2 weeks I was like literally like non-responsive,
Body was swollen, stomach was swollen.
body swollen,
Yeah.
stomach swollen.
You
Like
went, you moved your
she's right.
bowels in
I'm
3 weeks.
skipping out a lot of stuff because
And you moved your bowels in about 3 weeks.
one of the experiences I remember was when my stomach was very very enlarged and I had a whole bunch of fluids in my body, a whole bunch of fluids. For some reason,
And poop
it accumulated so much that
from the
when
narcotics
I
you used.
when I when I when I when I was getting over the situation and I was throwing up, I threw up like buckets, literally buckets and buckets full
The feces gonna go
of throw up. You know what I'm saying? Like literally like a hydrant. I looked like a hydrant in New York City. Um, when I was in the hospital, like literally like like it looked crazy to see, and me witnessing for myself, I was like, oh shit. Like it was crazy. And I was filling up buckets upon buckets because my stomach was so enlarged because everything was just shut down. Chemo just kicked my butt, man.
and you
The
was in the
chemo,
bathroom
the
and
chemo really kicked my butt. I didn't go to the bathroom. I
for
didn't
3 weeks.
for 2 3 weeks. I didn't do nothing. It was just sleep, medication, sleep, medication. Like I couldn't function, and I think that was the combination of the cancer
The
and the
narcotics.
chemo and the drugs and narcotics. Like everybody's different. Like I always say, cancer affect everybody's different. The narcotics, the drugs that we are given, it also affects us different. So it tore me down. It kicked my butt. The narcotics and whatever medication, especially the narcotics, it,
And your mom had to
it took
clean
me
you
out.
up because you was for a week, for a whole week and a half. You had to clean you up because you wasn't up when you was going to the bathroom. Or you
Right?
was up.
And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest with y'all. For about 2 weeks, if it wasn't for my wife and my mother, man, like I'm telling you, man, you need people in your corner. You can't just rely on the
They
people that
going to
work
the
in the
bathroom
hospital.
themselves when you
I
sick
was literally going to the bathroom on myself
because you wasn't conscious.
because I wasn't conscious enough
To go to the
to
bathroom
get
on your
out.
own.
You know what I'm saying? To get up to do anything. Like I couldn't control nothing. Literally, I was going to the bathroom on myself 3 4 times for the day, and my mother and my
More than
wife
that
would
at first.
clean me up and change my bed every time that it happened. And that shit is embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? That shit is really embarrassing, but you know what I'm saying? That's life.
Tomorrow,
And they did that for me. They held me down and made sure I was okay. But literally for 2 weeks straight, listen, man, that's crazy as hell. For 2 weeks
no
straight, I
control.
was literally going to the bathroom on myself in my hospital bed because I couldn't control nothing. All I could do was sleep, bro. Like it was it cause so when so and that's half of the reason why no video got posted. You know what I'm saying in 3 months because I wasn't functioning. I was not able to function at all to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
You had to learn how to walk again. You had to use a walker.
Had to learn how to walk again. Had
Yeah.
had, had to go through
You
some
had the
some
walker.
some crazy. I got a walker, like bro, like literally, I was like a baby being born again. Like I'm not playing when I say that. Like my mind was gone, body is gone. Bro, I went from weighing 180 to
185 to
140
143.
43. Like literally like sticks and bones, man. I look like somebody got kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? Over 2 years and was held without food, you know what I'm saying, as like a walker, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I looked terrible. You know what I'm saying? My wife laughing at the moment because I made her take a video because I thought I wanted to I don't want to post that. That video looks so bad. I look so bad that I don't want to share that because she's laughing, leaving the
But you had
room
to
now.
let her blow a kiss at the end.
I look so bad. I look like I was kidnapped. I was held hostage for 2 years and only was fed sugar cane because I was just bone and skin, literally just skin and bones. That's how skinny I was because I was not
Sit down, boo.
eating.
Sit
You know what I'm saying? The only form of food I got was through the IV. And it wasn't even food, it was just the liquid, the fluids. You know what I'm saying? I was, bro, it was devastating. It was terrible. But once the pain is over, then you good. And if I gotta do it again, I will do it again. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta do it again, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, that should be whatever it takes. Would you say because God is good, prayers was going up during that gap? Yes, God is amazing. God is amazing. God is amazing, man. Because, man, I'm telling you, it was so much.
You don't think your rabbit was hard?
It was so much. The craziest part about it was when you said God is good, like you don't understand. When my doctor came in and my doctor was like, "Yo, it's the 23rd day of you getting chemo. It's time for step two." And my body was not ready for step two. My body was nowhere near ready for step two. And
Don't you talk about your rabbit?
they had to go through so many different things. They had to go through so many. They had to change like they changed every day. Every day something was changed on my list of medication. Something was changed every day to try to see if my immune system would respond. Because that was the issue. My immune system would not respond. And my doctor was like, because, it's like, it's my doctor was like 99% of the people, like I was like on a 0.8 percentile of people, you know what I'm saying, of how my body responded to the chemo. And it was like so unexpected. It's like, it was the 23rd day. You're supposed to be at this. You're supposed to be this, and this. I'm like, this. And they're like, nah. It's like, that's not happening at the moment. You're going to have to, like, readjust your numbers, you know what I'm saying, and try again because my body is not like everybody else's, you know what I'm saying? And it took a while, my wife had to, like, really convince him to, like, yo, you can't approach my husband the same way as you approach everybody else. You gotta, like, cater to him differently. And, she got through to him and he was able to adjust, you know what I'm saying, how he approached me. And that helped a lot. And a lot of switching to medication. Like, I'm telling you, every day something was changed. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. And once he ran out of stuff to try, he was like, "Yo, it's all on you." You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying. My body took the time that it took. You know what I'm saying, to recover. And you can't. There's nothing you can do. You can't force your body to do something that it can't. But I knew I was gonna recover. It just takes time. So
You gotta talk about your rabbit was hard.
that's kind of like the most important thing. Like, everybody is affected differently. Cancer itself affects everybody differently. Chemo affects everybody differently. So everybody results is different. So everybody's not gonna his experience is not gonna be as mine. I ran into my friend today at the cancer center, and he went through his chemo treatment every 3 weeks. Finished it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't able to do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's situation is different. So always remember that. Always remember that everybody's situation is different. And but like I was saying, I want to shout my mom's out because the 12th was her birthday, and in 2021 it was around this time after her birthday that I found out that I was sick, right? So,
You got diagnosed on my birthday.
and then 2 weeks later, which on the 24th of this month was my wife's birthday, is when I got diagnosed with the cancer that I had. And then a week later, on my son's birthday, was when I started chemo treatment. So 2021, like, I was in the hospital for everybody's birthday. It was rough, man. And so, I just want to give a special shout out to my moms for, you know what I'm saying, for being moms. You know what I'm saying? And there's a crazy situation that happened when I was in the hospital, because my blood was low,
You had a
right?
bone marrow
I forgot what they call it. There's a name for it. And and they did a bone marrow biopsy,
and your blood is
right?
low.
Which they had to do it because
Take your bone marrow and see
they
what's
had
going
to
on.
they had to see, because like I told you, the doctors was expecting a certain level of recovery that wasn't there, so they had to check my bone marrow to see like what's going on inside my body, because you know what I'm saying, the only way they know what's going on inside the body is from the blood they draw. Sometimes that's not enough information, so they gotta go in and get that bone marrow sample to even get more information
Okay.
of what's going on in your body. So it was a situation where,
Yeah.
like I said, man, I'm lucky, and I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife. She was I was in the bathroom, right? You know what I'm saying? And most of the time when I use the bathroom, she's not far. You understand what I'm saying? She sometimes keeps the door open. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes she's by the door. Sometimes she's outside the room door talking to somebody, but the door is still open. You know what I'm saying? So luckily, she was there with me at that point, and I I finished using the bathroom. I got up and I was washing my hands, and I felt a little wobbly, and you know what I'm saying. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And my knees kind of like buckled, and next thing you know, I passed out. Now, like I said, there's a name for it. Like cause I had just finished using the
The
bathroom. My
bathroom and
blood
your
is
blood is
low,
low,
and
and you on narcotics.
I'm on a whole bunch of narcotics. They just did
A
a
biopsy, which
biopsy,
gave you more narcotics.
and they put a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying. They had to numb me up real good, and so when I had gotten up from the toilet, there's a name for it. I forgot what they call it, but when I was at the sink washing my hand, I got my knees gave out, and I was out cold. I passed out, like I lost function, and I was about to hit my head, and I was about to bust my shit. And like I tell you, my platelets is always low.
Your blood is low.
My blood was low at the time. Like I
And
said,
you supposed to
platelets,
been
you're supposed to have
depleted there.
anywhere from 150,000 to 300,000 platelets in your body. At that time, I might have had only
12.
8,000
Yeah, 12.
or 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would have gotten a severe cut, I probably would have bled out. It would have been way much worse because I would have lost a lot of blood. I already don't have
Would have died.
enough blood in my body. You know what I'm saying? So thank God she was there. Like literally, like thank God she was there, because she caught me. She literally caught me and kind of like threw my body back. But I guess it was a good thing I was only 142 pounds at the time.
No, you still regular weight.
I was
Still
still
regular
regular
weight.
weight,
Still regular weight.
so my weight was still up there. So
You
she
still
caught
regular
me,
weight.
and this is what she's telling me because I wasn't unconscious at the time. She caught me and kind of like threw me back, and she held me up, and she was screaming, "Help! Help! Help! Help!" You know what I'm saying? All the way through the hospital, like the whole seventh floor heard her and came running. You know what I'm saying? And you want to tell them what happened? Here, here, come on, cause you tell it better than me.
When Marv had passed out and I was holding him and I was screaming for help, all the nurses and all the doctors on the floor, they came into the room. Um, I was still holding him in the air, and I was waiting for the nurses or somebody to come take him from me. But at the time, the nurses and stuff there was like the same height as me or same size as me, and I was like, why am I gonna give him to you? If I could still hold him, I need somebody that's actually strong enough to pick him up. So at that time, his doctor came in, and his doctor came and grabbed him from me. He slid his hands in between my body and picked up Marvin, threw him on the bed, and he started chest compressions. And when he started the first chest compression, I was screaming, telling him to get up, get up, get up. And then after he started the first compression, and then he started on the second one, Marv jumped up like he jolted up with his hands up in the air. And then I just started screaming, and then my legs gave out. Like I was just like, cause I usually when somebody's doing compressions and a body jolt, it's usually happen when they're not responsive. So when he did that, his arms came up. I started screaming, And I was screaming at him, get up, get up. I told him, you can't die. It's not time for you to die. You gotta get the fuck up. This ain't this ain't the time to to go. And at this time, everybody's bigger than me, so they blocking, so I can't see him. I'm screaming. I'm calling his mom on the other end. I'm telling moms, get here now. She got there in 10 minutes. We live 18 minutes away. Y'all figure that out. So we sitting there and I'm screaming. By this time, his doctor, when he started the second compression, I guess Marv heard me screaming at him to get the fuck up, get the fuck up. He jumped up. So that joke was him actually jumping up, not his body jumping because he was doing compressions. And he moved out the way and he seen me and I came to the bed and I started yelling at him. I told him, I said, what the fuck are you doing? I said, we got kids. We got grandbaby. We got shit to do. You cannot die. This is not how your story's supposed to end. I said, you got to get the fuck up and you got to wake up. So the nurses and doctors that's on the other side, it was like, man, you can't talk to him. I said, mind your fucking business because this ain't you. And then his primary doctor was like, nah, 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 let her go. She know what she doing. And when I told him he had to get the fuck up, Marvin sat up and he said, all right, babe, I'm up. And they didn't need to do no more work or nothing on him. He sat up and they gave him some blood and everything and he was up from there. But yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, like I said, it sounds better when she tell it, cause you know that was her. That's what she witnessed. And the crazy part about it was, like, when I was going through it, and these doctors was doing chest compressions and was trying to get me to wake up. Like, I heard noise. You know what I'm saying? It felt like I was at a Native American like celebration, and it was just a whole bunch of noise. Like, oh, blah, blah. It was like a whole bunch. Like, all I heard was noise. But the only thing that made sense was I heard my wife's voice. I heard her voice over in the corner. That's the only thing I was able to make out. And like literally, I was there for a couple of seconds, like hearing all this noise, and was not responding to the noise because it didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it didn't make sense, or for whatever reason, I heard my wife's voice and I responded to her like, "Yo, get up, get up, get up." And I got up and I told the doctors like, "Yo, move out the way." Like, I had to let my wife know, like, I heard you and I'm responding to you. So cuz like everybody was taller than her, that she was in the back, so I had to like tell them to like move out the way so I could see her, so I can let her know like, "Yo, I heard you and I'm responding to you." You know what I'm saying? And she came towards the bed and was like, "Yo, what are you doing? We got this and this to do. Da, da. You can't be down." Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy experience because I did not respond to nothing else. There was beating on my chest. There was yelling, screaming. It didn't sound like nothing but a whole bunch of noise. You know what I'm saying? So if she wasn't even in that room, I don't know what my desire would have been to like respond to what was going on. Like, I don't know how I would have responded in that moment if I didn't hear her voice. Her voice um was what woke me up and brought me back to reality. Was hearing her voice calling me, telling me to wake up. This ain't the time. This ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? So, and they tried to get out the room, but she was like, "Nah, you're gonna have to drag me out of here. I'm not going nowhere." So, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, if she wasn't there to catch me, I would have leaned forward. I would have hit sink. I would have hit mirror. I would have hit glass. I would have hit something. You know what I'm saying? And the doctors and nurses was like, "Yo, you lucky that she was there to catch you, because if you'd have went forward, it would have been a lot for you to come back from, seeing as though your blood was so low and your platelets was so low." So, you know what I'm saying, man? Like you said, cuz God is good, man, and I'm blessed. And like I said, you gonna always hear me talk about my support system. Like, if it was not for my support system, you know what I'm saying? Especially on that day, I wouldn't be here, man. Or I would not be here in the capacity as you see. I might have been really messed up. You know what I'm saying? It might have took longer time. You know what I'm saying, for me to get back to normal. But you know what I'm saying? By the grace, by the grace of God, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Almost a month out of being at the hospital, and I'm doing good, man. It took a while for me to get my bearings back, but I got it back. You know what I'm saying? I got it back, and My brain is functioning better. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad as it was. I still deal with issues, but this right here, this conversation that me and you were having, it wouldn't have been possible 2 weeks ago because 2 weeks ago I was still somewhat, slow and lackadaisical and not full of a lot of words. You know what I'm saying? So as time go by, I'm getting better. And like I said, even though you're at the hospital, like it is not over yet. You know what I'm saying? You still got to rehab at home. I'm still going to the cancer center 3 times a week, but the home, when you're at home, you still gotta work to get back to the me personally. I always say I'm trying to get back to the old me. My wife is like, yo, this is a new you. Don't try to be who you was before. Like, focus on who you becoming now. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not trying to get back to who I was, but I'm trying to be functional again, and it takes a lot of willpower to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a lot because I was down and I was out. I didn't want to get out the bed. I didn't want to do nothing. You understand me? I didn't want to do nothing because of how I felt. And that, like I said, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself, but it was just, my mind was blank. I was just, it's almost like I ain't gonna say I was a vegetable, but yeah, the chemo brain is crazy. But I was like a baby being born again, and you know what I'm saying, not knowing anything, not having a desire for anything because I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? But your cells get rebuilt, the cells come back. You know what I'm saying? Whatever chemo and cancer kill, you know what I'm saying, your body's able to regenerate. You know what I'm saying? You see, ain't no hair in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I cut my hair recently, but everything, all the hair dropped, and even my hair is not curly anymore. My hair is straight. My hair is straight. Like my beard is straight. The hair on top of my head was straight. Like it felt. I think it felt like my body got permed. I felt like my whole body got permed and everything is just straight. Like my beard has never been this smooth ever. You feel me? You understand me? It ain't never been this smooth ever. Yeah. So I feel like I got permed, literally. Like I feel like my body is permed because my hair, my naps, it wasn't no naps, it wasn't no curl. Everything was just straight on top of my head. So hair's coming back, but it ain't all the way there yet. There's still a lot of gaps, but man, yeah, you could tell if you look at my nails. You see the black part of my nails? That's the chemo, and that just shows and that's how long ago I'm growing it out. I'm growing it out. The black part of my nails is the chemo, and there's ridges. I don't know if you can see the ridges on my nail, but you can see how the chemo affect my body. That even my nail was able to get ridges on it. Your whole body changed. You know what I'm saying? Inside and out. So if you see the change in my nails where the ridges is at, hopefully you can see it. It's increased. There's ridges. If it did this to my nails, imagine what it did to the inside of my body. Like it literally tore me down. I still got stomach issues now. Oh my god. Oh my, listen, man. Oh, you see it? Okay, good. Listen, man. One of the worst things is all of these damn pills I gotta take. Every day I gotta take like 20 pills. When I was in the hospital, it's 3 times a day. So your most is in the morning, the most is at night. Yes, and midday is I gotta take about 20 pills throughout the day. It's like 12 at night. Total. 12 at night. 12, 3 in the middle of the 3 in the middle of the day. And about 8 in the morning. About 8 in the morning. About 8 or 9 in the morning. Okay. And that's when I don't gotta take the potassium. And anybody know, and big ass horse pills and big ass potassium horse pills. When I gotta take them shits too, it'd be bad as hell. What you say? The medications is the potassium and then the heart med if you need it. Okay. Still on the side, so you still got like you have to take once in the blue moon. I was up to like 23 pills a day, and I'm telling you, man, the worst thing in my life I gotta deal with, bruh. I dread it. I dread it every time I gotta take them pills, man. I dread it so much.
I'm looking now.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I was in the hospital, everything was IV. IV this, IV that.
Everything had to go to pills.
You know what I'm saying? I used to look at the pole, and it used to be like 8, 9, 10 different bags on a pole because I had 2 IVs. I had IV in both
2 to
hands
3.
because I had my pick line, right?
Pick line
I
and your
tell
midline.
y'all, my pick line is always close.
You had a pick line
You know
and
what
a
I'm saying?
midline.
I had a pick line
In the midline.
and they had to remove it. Now, with the pick line, all you gotta do is screw on the edge and give me whatever drugs I need and withdraw whatever blood you need. I don't gotta get poked. But because they had to remove the pick line because of one of the 5 infections I had was a yeast infection, and they was worried it was in my bloodstream, and it was worried that it was gonna go to my heart because this, like I tell you, this part right here runs straight. This is the other end. This part right here deposits right into your heart. So when you get the medication, it goes straight to your heart. Whatever you get goes straight to your heart. So they had to remove this because they was concerned.
Remember we had to scare with your heart. Because of that.
Yeah.
Because of these. Remember did the test just before you came home?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
they
get to
thought it
that.
was the abscess, but it was your
I'm gonna get to
artery
that.
fit.
What was I saying?
It goes to your heart.
Yeah, that goes to my heart, and they was worried about me having that issue, that yeast, and you know what I'm saying, getting to my heart. So they took out the pick line, and they had to put IV in both arms. So yeah, so throughout the day you see 8, 9 bags of IVs on the pole. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't had to worry about taking no pills. I was cool with that. You feel me? I was cool with not having to take pills. Now that I'm home, you know what I'm saying? Now that you home, you know, bruh, all the 20 pills, and ain't no telling for how much longer I might have to take 20 pills a day. But one of the hardest things I gotta deal with since being home is taking 20 pills a day, man. You know what? And that gets me to wondering, like, how do people get old people to take pills? Like when you gotta baby, not babysit, but when you gotta like take care of your, you know what I'm saying, your elder family, how do you get like, how do you get them to take their pills?
Because you be complaining.
Cause this shit for me is hard as hell for me to take them pills. Literally, my wife would put the pills on the table. An hour or two go by. You taking pills yet? Oh nah. Oh, I'm about to. Like, literally, like I dread that shit. I dread it. I dread it.
I be having to ride you through, man.
She be on me, man, but she has to. You know what I'm saying? She knowing why she doing it, and eventually I take them. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, 2, 3 hours go by and I take them. Mess up the time slot. Then she gotta start giving me pills at a different time slot and all kinds of crap. Like, it's, man, I don't know how these older people that's in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, like, literally, like, how you even get them to take pills if they got dementia and got all that other stuff? Like, that's the craziest shit to me, bro. That was one of the craziest things I gotta deal with is these pills. And besides that, when you in the hospitals, the doctors come to you, you know, blood come to you, platelets come to you. I gotta get up and go to the cancer center every day at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:50 in the morning, because if I don't go early, I'm gonna be there till like 7:30 till this shit close. Like after that shit close, I'm still there because it takes like 3 hours to get a blood. Then you gotta wait half an hour after you get the blood to make sure you don't have no reactions. Then you gotta wait to get the platelets, and then you gotta wait after. Listen, you get the platelets.
It's like an hour.
It's like an hour, and then you gotta wait another half an hour after that to see if you have any effects. So sometimes I be there till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then I gotta get shots from because my immune system is still low. So I gotta get up. So now my wife sets the appointment early. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get my ass up 7:30, 7 o'clock, 3, 4 times a week to go to the cancer center to see doctors and to get blood and platelets. And when you're in the hospital, all that stuff comes to you. You ain't gotta do nothing. You ain't gotta take no pills. You ain't gotta go see no doctors. You know what I'm saying? So those are a couple of things that I gotta deal with being home. But you know, it's the greatest thing to be in at the hospital, man. and I still got, you know what I'm saying, so much more stories. But you know, in my mind, you know, whatever pops up, I'm talking about it. So
Like your heart.
you know what I'm saying. My heart, yeah, my heart. Like before, I was supposed to come home.
Yeah, the heart skip.
Before,
Thought you might
I even cried. You heard me? I even cried
you might
because
have had surgery on your heart.
I was supposed to leave. Let's say I was supposed to leave on Monday, right? I tell
It was
everybody, yo,
Tuesday.
no,
Tuesday,
well, it
you were
was
supposed to leave
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Listen,
We was ready too.
I'm telling everybody, I'm telling all the nurses or everybody, yo, I'm leaving, I'm out of here. Cause listen, I was there for like 2 3 months.
2 months and 13
So
days.
I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. Bye. They ain't gonna see me again till man. Why the doctors come in the room? I was like, yo,
They think
and they
might have
listen.
seen a
Whenever the
abscess on
doctors
your
come in the
heart,
room
on your heart
and they
valve.
grab a chair and they sit down,
That
and
shit is not good.
that shit is that
Not
shit is
good.
not. They ain't gonna be good. It ain't gonna be cause once the doc came in, I was cool. Once he grabbed the chair and he sat
He
down,
ain't never grab a chair.
I was like, oh shit. So now I hear that, you know what I'm saying? They thought the yeast, you know what I'm
Cause the
saying,
abscess on
caused,
your heart valve.
cause I have an abscess right now on my heart valve, you know what I'm saying? And they thought the yeast was, you know, they thought it was the yeast and they thought like something was like growing there that
That the
was
medicine is not taking care of.
yeah, that the medicine was not taking care of. And one of the things about the medicines too, why I had to be in there so long, you gotta be on medicine for like 2 weeks.
IV antibiotic.
You gotta be on IV antibiotics for 2 weeks straight, and you
And it
got
has to kill the infection.
and you gotta kill the
And you
infection.
have to be 5 days free of the infection too.
You have to
So you got
test
to do 2 weeks of
negative.
medicine and test 5 days of negative. So you
So
have to
on
do
one of them,
3 weeks.
you had to test like 2 weeks. You had
Yeah.
to test negative
Yes. So
for
you
a
have to
certain
stay in
infection,
there the whole time.
and that was part of the problem. I had 5 infections at one time, and they was trying to
Each one
treat
had a
all of
different
them.
stage.
And each one of them was different with a different stain. So on one of them, you have to go 2 weeks without a negative, without a positive hit for you to be okay. And
And that's not even talking about
that
the
didn't
3 weeks.
happen. I think twice.
Just when you got 2 days
I
when they
reached
got
like
close.
yeah, I reached
And one
like
of them
the
came back.
12th day. Boom.
Another one
Then she
came
came
back.
back again. I was like, oh my god, another 14 days of the medication. You know what I'm saying? But back to the heart scare. The doctor came in and he grabbed the chair. Like I tell you, he grabbed the chair and sat down, and the abscess was on my chest.
It says like 3 centimeters. It was real tiny.
But
Like
it was like
a-
it was Tuesday, and like I said, I told everybody I'm going home,
We
I'm
didn't
going
find out
home.
till results till
You
next
understand what I'm
week
saying?
Monday.
So the day of me going home,
Because the girl didn't come to work.
the day of me going home, the doctors came in and was like, yo, I got some news. There's something on your heart. Blah blah blah. Yo, listen, man. They're talking about they had to do surgery.
They might have
Yeah,
to
I
do
started
surgery.
crying. You hear me? I was like, yo, I was out. I was literally out the door. Y'all dragging me back in there. I thought they was gonna bust my heart open. Like I had so many different things I was visioning. I thought they was gonna bust my heart open it up. You know what I'm saying? Doing all kinds of stuff to it. But you know what I'm saying? Thank God nowadays surgery is not that it's not that serious.
But it was
But
just the thickness of your heart
it was
valve.
just
Because the chemo makes your heart valves thicker.
yeah.
So when they seen it, they did an intense CT scan that intensely goes into your heart valves to see, and they seen that it was nothing.
It was not.
Though it's just that the valves are thick because when you do chemo thickens your heart valves because it's killing everything.
Yeah.
So it's killing everything and it's rebuilt, so it tears up and make them thick. You know, it just puts a little damage to your heart because your valves.
So
are trying
so
to keep it
I do
together.
have a cyst. It's a small cyst.
Tiny,
But they
it's
thought
not
that it might have been
worry about.
something else. You know what I'm saying? So they just, you know what I'm saying? They could have went in there and took the cyst out. But, you know what I'm saying?
It's
It
not
was
necessary.
it was not necessary for that. And like, yo, listen, man, I broke down. I was like, yo, I'm almost out of here. Da, 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 da. I'm thinking about a heart getting cut open and all kinds of craziness, man. It's very emotional being in the hospital, man. So I actually stayed in there for like another week because for some reason
They
this
wanted to watch
there
the
was this
case, and they wanted
there was
and they
this
switched the medicine.
I was supposed to do a scan, and for some reason only
Girl
one
didn't come to
person in the hospital does this scan, and this girl did not come to work for the whole weekend. The whole weekend she skipped work. I don't know if she was in Cancun. I don't know where the hell she was at, but she skipped work for the whole weekend. and I had no way to get the scan. It was one person to do it,
So
so
we
we
wind up
had to
leaving
wait.
the next Wednesday.
So we had to wait till the next week, and for us to finally go home. So you know what I'm saying? That's just
Tell me you walked in there and you walked out.
yeah, that is a
You didn't
fact.
do no way well you did the walker.
I
But
walked in, but I walked
walked
out with
with
my
the
walker.
walker.
I walked out with my walker, but I was just because you know what I'm saying. I'm not I'm not leaving in a wheelchair. I walked out with my walker. You know what I'm saying? On what, the 14th of March? No,
February 14th.
no, it was March when I left.
No, this is March and you're going to, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
Yes, we
no.
left March.
Was it March? I thought it was
Cool, tell
February.
that March you left, man. The second week of March you left.
No, it's April. It just turned April.
No,
You've been home
no,
for 3.5 weeks.
no.
You left February.
January,
You left February
February,
13th.
March.
It's February 13th. You left.
No.
You've been out of the hospital almost a month. I
Um,
get the paperwork.
almost a month would be
It should have been February 13th. Something like that. Just
if
before Valentine's Day. Something
if
like
it's
that.
April 14, a month ago is March 14. Lady, listen to what I'm saying. Oh yeah, back to my bad, y'all.
Oh,
So
March 5th is when you got discharged.
yeah, March 5th. Okay,
March
yeah,
5th. You got
yeah.
discharge papers. March 5th. I had to look
March
at the
5th,
paperwork.
March 5th, March 5th. So
So we both was wrong.
you know what I'm saying? It's been an hour and we're going to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said before, um, being at home doesn't mean that you know what I'm saying everything is okay. I don't want to push myself too much. You know what I'm saying? And we only do an hour anyway, so we're gonna end it here, and we're gonna come back Wednesday, and we're gonna do it some more. We're gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, some more issues that yo Piff, what's going on, bro?
You're going to talk about you doing your appointments for your transplant. Because right now
Right.
you're doing appointments for transplant, plus they doing maintenance appointments to keep you.
So we're gonna talk about what else happened, what else is going on, and what else we're about to do next. But and man, I'm so happy to be here to be speaking to y'all, man. Y'all don't even know. To actually just be able to have thought, to be able to think freely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Much respect, Piff. You know what I'm saying? Much respect. To be able to think freely and not have to rely on somebody asking you a question in order for you to have a thought. You know what that feels like? That feels like a baby. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? And this information is to be shared with everyone, just to let them know, you know what I'm saying, what the experience is. And you know what I'm saying? You can go down, you know what I'm saying, but you don't have to stay down. You know what I'm saying? Your body is strong enough to come back from whatever it is. And you know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying, just treat people good because you're gonna need people. Imagine if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, the type of person that was like, you know, if I was an a-hole to everybody, I would have been up the creek, no paddle, none of that. You feel me? So I just want to say God bless to everybody, man, and thank y'all for rocking with me, Piff. My cousin, that's sure love your cousin. You don't know I love you, cousin. Hold up my heart, you know that already. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, yo, Johnny, you know what I'm saying? Much love to you too, bro. You know, you fam from all day. Everybody, man. Everybody. My boy BC, every day my boy BC texts me, you know what I'm saying? People that reach out, you know what I'm saying? And part of the problem is, you know what I'm saying? Love you too. Is cuz said love you too. Part of the problem is, you know what I'm saying, not being able to speak because you wait. I ain't gonna say you wait. Yeah, you waste energy when you speak and you trying to speak to people. Your body, your internal cells inside of your body need that strength. The strength that it takes for you to speak and communicate. I realized that I was doing myself a disservice by speaking so much or trying to because my body was not being able to heal. You understand what I'm saying? So hold on, pause 1 second.
And before we hang up, to all the nurses and the PCAs and everybody at the hospital, if it was the cafeteria, janitor, everybody that helped us out, looked out for us, that was nice to us. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all guys for all the help, helping you take care of Marvin and making sure he's okay to be here today to even actually speak to y'all.
Yeah, on that note, see y'all Wednesday. Peace.